Welcome back to the realistic road to glory here on FC26 with Cambridge United. We are currently top of the table. We start today with bottom of the table, and quite frankly, the league table is very much significantly in our favour. With that in mind, the fact that we are 13 points inside the automatic promotion zones, I don't really see the point in longing out this first season, particularly, so we are going to get a wriggle on, and today we will have both February and March in this episode. We'll be playing Bristol Rovers because they're second in the table. We'll be playing MK Dons because they're third in the table. But everybody else, almost entirely, for the rest of the episode, is in the bottom half of the League 2 table. So it makes sense to just kind of make our way through the season, really, doesn't it? There's no point having extra days in between now and Season 2 for the sake of having extra days between now and Season 2. So join me in a number of simmed games today. We'll obviously still have the 3 played as per usual, but it's certainly going to be a get through the calendar kind of middle of the week here before, of course, we then attack, hopefully, the summer transfer window at the end of the week with League 1 in mind, you might say. So we've got youth scouts here currently. This guy is now back permanently, Mr. King, after looking for midfielders, although obviously we're going to look for send him back out again and look for more. That's a straight no, I'm afraid, for William Price. I can't wait to get to League 1 to get 2-star scouts, quite frankly. That said, we might have a little bit on the cards already here. Brandon Hodges, 76 potential, which is good. Technically, he's obviously not got much at the moment. 0 to 1 playstyle doesn't fill me with much promise. This guy, I mean, he's terrible now, but he is only 14, so it's worth giving him a go. And if the other guy's not quite so far along, but better potential, then we'll go with the better potential guy. And we'll call Hodges up as well, of course. In March, which is going to be at the end of today's episode, we will be able to call up those youngsters that we wish to sign permanently in the youth intake. Marcus Coates, 78 potential. Might be worth a look, perhaps. Call him up into the youth academy, and we might actually find something worthwhile there. I've got one more month before March, so I may as well send Mr. King out to Southern Europe. Not Southern Europe, can't do Southern Europe. Northern Europe, in England again, looking for midfielders. Was centre back, CDM, right back, left back, this guy, was it? I'll just have a quick double check. Right, that's all the defence. It was just all of midfield. Okay, fair enough. We are, of course, looking for players in any position, really. Ultimately, we do have some press conference questions that I can show you that will help us isolate that a little bit better. But obviously, we do have some slightly older players that we'd be open to moving on. Let me show you those press conference questions coming to you now. The first one here is from Trent Crim from The Independent recently, who wrote an article today saying that Samson Tavide was interested in joining Cambridge United. Now, obviously, Samson is a player we previously had the pleasure of using at Bradford City and was quite successful for us, moved on and didn't really fulfil that promise elsewhere. I can't say as at the minute I'm looking for anyone else to lead the line other than Louis Appelé and Shane Lavery. They've both been doing a very good job for us at this stage in time until they show that they're not good enough for the level. It would be unfair to replace them in the lineup, I would imagine, at this particular moment in time. Nid Regan with the HTIC says, can you give us your assessment on the youth players so far this season? Has anyone caught your eye for further down the line, or do you think anyone is maybe going to get a look in with a big club potentially coming in for them this season? Obviously, the young players in the main being George Hoddle, who's been decent, not sensational, but decent. Glenn McConnell, who's been very impressive in that central attacking midfield role, as you well know. Scored a banger of a goal in the last episode. And, of course, goes without saying, Liam Bennett at right back is Liam Bennett at right back. One of the best players at the club, one of the highest performing players at the club, and one of the players we hope to hold on to for as long as bleeding possible. And Ethan says, with your current position in the league, would you consider a failure of promotion this season a cataclysmic letdown? Yes. And what positions would you look to strengthen in League 1 if promotion is obtained? We mentioned that there are some ageing players in there, as good as they have been for us. Soleil Kirkai is 30 and not getting any younger. Can certainly do a bit for the squad. And we don't have a lot of depth in wide areas, so we would look to improve probably in that area, but Soleil would still be part of the squad. And Brofs is 31, will be 32 soon. His pace is always going to be instrumental in moments, but perhaps that pace would be better served coming on off the bench at League One level rather than starting off from the off at League Two level. That said, they're third and fourth in our goal scoring charts, and well, top and third, first and third in our creative charts. So certainly at this level, they're doing the job. And again, as is the case with Louis, until he proves that he's not doing the job, or they're not doing the job at the level above, it would perhaps be a bit harsh to replace them in the starting lineup. But we'll play it by ear. We may end up having some players poached in the summer. We find ourselves particularly lucky that in January we didn't see anyone leave. And obviously, we know that absolutely we could lose a few players in the summer. We're going to need a goalkeeper, that's for sure. Louis Apre with a hat-trick. It did actually come through. Did Muldoon score a hat-trick as well? No, Bennett got one for them as well. So 3-3 draw away from home against bottom of the league. Not ideal, but MK Dons drew there, and I think Bristol Rovers did the same as well. So we're going to maintain our position and gap. I see Notts County pulled it to 11 points now. Peliwada Kampanzu is captain and will be for the foreseeable future, as per another press conference question that we actually didn't isolate there. But I need to go and sort my finances out before we get to this game against Bristol Rovers, and hopefully the gap at the top will remain as it is. In fact, it has actually grown there now. Look, the gap is 11 points. No, it was previously 13, wasn't it? The gap has closed. Forgive me. How good is that? Something has got to give. Home record versus away record. 15 games, 11 wins apiece. This is personal in the fight for the League Two title, isn't it? We both look relatively nailed on from automatic promotion back up to League One. Bristol Rovers relegated with Cambridge last season as well in real life. And at this particular moment in time, it's a two-horse race for the title. And quite a close two-horse race by the looks of things. This Bristol Rovers side then, lining up with... oh no, here we go. It is arriving. Sotrio up top for them. Shaq Ford on the wing. He's very good, as you know from that previous Bradford save. So we'll absolutely have to be at our best there. Tom Lockyer at centre-back's obviously particularly impressive as well, with the captain's armband for them today as well, I believe. We've got McEachran in midfield, who was very good against us last time we played Bristol Rovers too. They are one of the best sides in the division in this save. In real life, they're not having the best of times right now, but they have just beaten Cambridge United in the Virtue Trophy to knock us out of that competition. They also knocked us out of the Carabao Cup earlier this season as well. So a little bit of payback in this fixture might be nice, personally, for real life reasons, and to pip them to the title might be good as well for the exact same reason. It's me and my schnoz. Insert Joey Burton gif. We are the side strongest overall this season, as much as our two home and away records might look very similar. It's obviously the opposite way round that actually we slightly edge it on them. We'll lift this over the top for Brophy. That's not as in his path as I might have liked it to be, but that certainly will reach Mpanzu because I fancy him for strength there. And if Brophy can keep up, which he can't, maybe we can find Apparat at the near post with a diving header. But Luke Southwood with a very comfortable save in the end. We've had a couple of chances in the opening few minutes, but nothing has gone in yet. Knight asked to play this one, Ben Knight. Came to me and dropped a sneaky DM and said, "Boss, I feel like I'm the man for the job out on the right-hand side." So we've given him that job. We'll see if he can actually come up with the goods. I didn't even realise they had a man out here at left-back there. I thought he just kicked it straight off the pitch. Sparks to McEachran. They did beat us last time we played them, Bristol Rovers, as did MK Dons, who of course we'll face a little bit later on today as well, both of which at that time were away from home. Back here at the Abbey, we have been very strong, as you saw from the pre-match graphic. 15 games, 11 wins is a pretty impressive record, and one we'd like to build upon today if possible. One that nearly took a backward step with that rather awkward save from the goalkeeper. Can we win this header? No. Sotriu's, however, does go well wide, and Bristol Rovers' first attempts to score a goal are unsuccessful, similar to our own. McEachran, Anthony. It's going to fall free to Don Ball, who has grown a little bit, actually, Don Ball. On his way into his 30s, but at 66 rated, certainly is earning that first team spot at the minute. He didn't start the season in that position. Corey Smith did, but Corey Smith has done nothing but deteriorate, unfortunately, in ability in this save. It's purely just an in-game thing, unfortunately. And as a result, Don Ball has now got the nod in that position. And Don Ball has been very, very solid indeed in there. So he wasn't a player I really thought I'd use that readily. But actually, it's been pretty impressive alongside Pelly Ruddock and Panzu. They make quite a good partnership in there. Sotru with a double step over. And then out here to Anthony, who's burst past me. First half stoppage time here could end with a chance for Bristol Rovers to take the lead. Sotru back. They're going to have to shoot soon, and they haven't. So it will be 0-0 at the break then. It's Conter. Anthony's gotten in behind there really nicely and cuts back. Could look for a shot. Cottrell to Ford, and Ford. Fingertip stuff from Max Crocombe, but fingertip stuff is enough. Rovers really starting to turn the screw now at the beginning of the second half. They were building in danger towards the end of the first, and they've not really changed their impetus at the start of the second. They are going for the jugular here. Liam Bennett with a lot of room to get into, and Louis Appere isn't necessarily positioning himself very well as a striker there. Just kind of ran quite close to me. What I wanted was him in the bloody middle, but in the end he does have the effort that's well saved by the goalkeeper, so we will stick with it for now, hoping and aiming to keep the clean sheet and take something from this and not let Bristol Rovers close in on us and put the risk of that League 2 title under larger threat than a 4-point gap. William Pelly Ruddock stood in the way. He's just got the toe to that. He's going to maybe go for the give and go, as Senior looked like he was very heavily committing himself to trying to get a challenge in there. Here is McEachran now. Around the corner to Sotru. And I just can't quite get it off him. He's a difficult man to try and tackle. And Anthony gives Bristol Rovers a 1-0 lead. And if they see this through, then that will be them within a point of us at the top of the table, which is not ideal. But it's well worked. All about the creativity of Sotru in the middle there. He was untackleable. And then the finish in off the woodwork. Picked his spot very nicely indeed. Shaq Ford. Perrington does very well and then gives it away. Maybe I should have looked inside before going down the line there. McEachran. It's Josh McEachran, the former Chelsea man, in midfield for them. And Ford is going to seal it, isn't he? All right. We lost to Bristol Rovers last time. We'll be losing to Bristol Rovers again. When Cambridge got up to League 1 in the 2021 season, I want to say it was. Was it 1920? It might have been 1920. I think it was 1920. No, it couldn't have been 1920s. That was the curtailed season. In the 2021 season, when Cambridge got promoted, we were at the top of the table for a long time, and in the end got pipped by Cheltenham to the title. And it does look quite likely, actually, of history potentially repeating itself here if Bristol Rovers are able to get themselves above us come the final day of the year. They obviously are behind us at the moment, and that's a little bit poor from Glenn McConnell, and it won't be 2-1, it will be 2-0, but 2-0's fine. Well, it's not fine, but you know what I mean. Like, it is what it is. We're not going to completely tumble now that we've had a single setback of a result. With the fixture list quite favourable for the next couple of months, I think we should be fine. Like we say, we've got a lot of teams in the bottom half of the table to come. Although saying that, we did just draw 3-3 to bottom of the table Harrogate. So let's hope that 22nd and third bottom in the table Colchester goes a little bit better. Midweek against Colchester here. Fatigue in the squad, so we will give the fringe players the chance for some more first-team football, of which there will be less of now that we've only got the league to focus on. But Louis Appere, again, with a goal, and as we say, at the top end, leading the line, and certainly not showing any sign of slowing up at this particular moment in time, is he? It just showed there actually his stats for the season. 22 goal involvements in 31 games. At this stage, maybe we will need to bring Samson Tavide back into an RTG squad to replace Appere, who's going to get poached. He's performing well enough that he's going to be in the shot window, isn't he, at the end of the season? We hope that no one pays any attention to him. This next one, away from home at Rodney Parade against Newport. Not a nice place to go and play football. Can always cause a little bit of an upset, but we see this one through with a 3-2 win. Soleil with a brace, actually, after they took an early 1-0 lead. They scored at either end of the game. It's just that we did the flurry of the scoring in the middle. Bristol Rovers drawing there, so I think our lead at the top of the table might be not necessarily restored, but looking healthy once more. We're 13 points continually clear of Notts County in fourth. And now we have MK Dons, who are currently third. They're a long way behind us, obviously, but they'll be wanting to extend the gap over the playoff spots just below them. And like we say, we did lose to them last time we played them as well, so absolutely would like to get a better result there if we can. Still going to be improving. George Hoddle between now and the end of the season. There's been some call to bend the rules a little bit to allow Hoddle and McConnell the opportunity to grow a little bit more. But I'm not willing to bend the rules in that regard for that reason. Quite frankly, they can play regardless of what their rating is. So as long as they're contributing to the team, then it doesn't matter what their rating is. Similarly, with the left back we had at Palace, didn't feel the need to boost his rating or his opportunities to grow because he was performing very well as a 72 rated left back in the Champions League. So it's the same scenario, really. MK Dons with Aaron Collins up top, Mendes Lang on one side, Jonathan Lecco on the other. Aaron Collins is the third top goal scorer in the division. Mendes Lang scored against us back at Stadium MK. Aaron Collins might have been on the score sheet as well for the second goal in that fixture. Mendes Lang has spent some time at Cambridge in the very early days of his career, so we'll be familiar with the Abbey Stadium. Hopefully we can make it a place he has bad memories of rather than good in the more recent times. Lavery here getting a start ahead of Brophy. There's some call in the comment section to change Lavery's height because he was registering as 6 foot in the game. He was registered as 1.82 metres tall. And in real life, he's 1.8 metres tall, which is 5'9". And I changed him to 1.8 metres tall in game, and it's still registering him as 5'11". So it's a game thing, not a me thing, unfortunately. What is also a me thing is us taking a 1-0 lead, and Lav's got the assist, but Apare's on the score sheet again, and he is having a very strong second half of the season. Apare out to Lavs. He's wanting more football this season, Lavery, and I just haven't been able to get it to him with Apare being in such good form and Brophy's pace being the deciding factor on the wing. But I tell you what, the two of them are linking up nicely, and if ever we needed to play a 4-4-2, I think they would make quite the partnership, because they're certainly linking up very well in these opening stages here, aren't they? Could have made it 2-0 there. Rather disappointed that we haven't, actually. And Pansy will look for Glenn McConnell here, who's going to go one way, then the other, and that's completely going to send the defender. And Glenn McConnell's in behind him. We might make it 2 anyway, and we have! Well, we might have gotten back-to-back defeats, and Bristol Rovers have gotten the double over us. But we'll be turning this one round against MK Dons. And it's lost out. Gilby with the tackle. Kelly to Collins. I didn't want that man. I didn't want that man. I wanted to switch to the central defender that was closest to the ball, and it made the fullback just sprint at it, and as a result, I haven't been able to get there. And Jonathan Lecco has got one back for them. That feels a little bit cheesy, but thankfully we'd scored 2, so we're still in the lead. We'll go this way with Lavs, and we'll keep powering through with Lavery, and then looking for Apare. Somehow got tackled there, and I don't really know how the defender got to it when felt like Apare had the attacking position and was taking the first touch away from the defender. That's a brilliant ball into Lecco, and there might be 2-2 before half-time here. MK Dons stood up towards the back post. Liam Bennett gets there, and we'll just bring it down and see it through till half-time here, I think. Quite happy to go in at 2-1 and not necessarily push too hard to try and make it 3. Definitely not going to get the opportunity to make it 3 because we've lost the ball. And it might still be 2-2. Lecco, 1-2 with Collins. Big right hand. And he will get the corner. Huge save from Max Crocombe. And it's not the first he's made this season at all, is it? Get out. That's not out, is it? That is half-time. Oh, it's a lovely through ball, and Lecco's in, and Lecco scores a brilliant goal. We were 2-0 up inside 20 minutes. We're not anymore. We are not even leading. We've pulled it back, and it's 2-2, and that's quite the finish. Wilson into Lecco. Collins and Gilby, and over the top to Collins again. Gilby tackles well by Jobe. Important interception. McConnell across. Game still there for the winning. Just got to find our inner first 20 minutes and not our latter 50, because otherwise we might end up seeing that 2-0 lead completely vaporise into a 3-2 defeat. It's a sign of what we can expect next season, perhaps, with this current particular squad. This game is against Bristol Rovers and MK Dons has vaporised. We are 3-2 behind. Two of the best sides in the division, proving that just because we're better than most League 2 sides doesn't mean we are going to run away with this title. We are running away with Bristol Rovers, but we can be caught if we continue to drop points like this from a significant winning position. We're probably going to end up with absolutely nothing here, and MK Dons have really performed admirably. A 2-0 win at Stadium MK and a 2-0 turnaround to lead by 3-2 at the Abbey. I was slightly concerned that we might be too competitive in League One with things as they currently are. But after losing to League One sides in cup competitions this year, and losing both times to MK Dons and Bristol Rovers this season, the other two sides that look likely to join us in automatic promotion to the league above, we might not have it all our own way again next year. We're certainly too strong for League 2, but I definitely don't think we'll be too strong for League 1. We might still be able to push potentially for a playoff spot next year, but this sort of domination we've shown in most of this league season is not going to be a possibility for us, I don't feel. Not without the right signings. And I don't know as we'll have the finances to make those right signings, quite frankly. Oh, mate. Really disappointed to have seen this fall away, and really disappointed to have not had that last counter-attack, to be honest, because Brophy was in. And George Hoddle is in. And I should have just shot. We lose. Just had 3 more scout reports, and there's really not much in there at all, quite frankly, unfortunately. So it looks like no standout talents in the final month of potentials before we have our youth intake. But said youth intake is going to see a few players called up here. We have Nathan Brown with a potential of 79, which is as high as we could go with the potential that we're allowed to bring in as per the rule set. But quite frankly, I think everybody from Brown to Garner is going to get the call up here to the first team squad. We'll obviously have to add that to our finances and wages accordingly, but we've absolutely got the capability to deal with that in the wage budget. Youth players come in at £350 a week as a rule of thumb for us in the save, and even with 6 players coming in, that's about £2,000 extra, and we've got £5,000 in the wage budget, so we can absolutely afford to bring them all up. They can go out on loan next season. Some are obviously not going to hit their potential for a while, but we absolutely are open to bringing them to the future of this football club. We do have the opportunity to promote players that are 14 as per the change we made with the live editor. So all of these guys are going to come up to the first team squad now. Some of which might get an opportunity in the first team in the not too distant future, maybe between now and the end of the season, when things get a little bit more straightforward and promotion is assured. Owen Garner, Brandon Hodges might see some first team football, particularly Garner, out on the left hand side. See, maybe not the other youngsters, but certainly there's some potential there for the future. So they're all going to get a call up. I'll go and deal with my finances accordingly, and then we've got another month's worth of games to deal with today. Next up, Accrington Stanley away. They're languishing down in 19th in the table, and it's a simple 2-0 win for us there. Appare on the score sheet again, considerably smashing the goals into the back of the net at this particular moment in time. Mr. Appare having a fantastic time of things. I have called up all of those guys. Of course, they're all added into the spreadsheet now accordingly, and we continually are being told what's available on the job opportunity situation, but we don't want anything on there. So I now have £2,910,000 in the wage budget at this particular moment in time. Of course, we'll be transferring across into Season 2 and changing the wage budget accordingly, depending on the rules of the save. But we have a considerably large squad now with those youngsters, although obviously they'll be going out on loan for the considerable future. So fingers crossed they get... steady. Fingers crossed they get some good football over the course of the next 2 or 3 years, and there's quite a bit of potential in a couple of those guys, so fingers crossed they grow quite well, and you never know, they might be involved in first-team football in the not-too-distant future here in the save. So Gillingham, Walsall, Salford and Barnet remaining. Gillingham, Walsall, Salford, Barnet. Salford are 10th, Barnet 13th, Walsall 14th and Gillingham 16th. So it looks like it'll be Salford that will be the other game that we play today. Now level on points with Bristol Rovers at the top, and despite defeat to both of those below us, now 15 points clear of Notts County, and they don't have a game in hand. So we've lost 8, those below us have lost less, but we've won more. Outbreak. Jake Eastwood appears under the weather, showing signs of illness. You'll need to consider the best course of action to deal with the situation in relation to that player and the wider team. Home you go, mate. Don't let that spread all the way around the squad. If you could be so kind, I'd appreciate it very much. He's come to me and talked to me as well. Thanks for giving me the time off, ready for the next match. That's fair enough. Go and take some Lemsip, pal. We did have a... what do we call it? That's not a realistic bid, unfortunately. I have added all of those youth players to the loan list. We did have an unexpected event, which was the use it or lose it, where they've come and said, use all of the budget because you're not getting any of it next season. Of course, the in-game budget isn't our budget, so wasn't worthy of doing a full highlight on, but just to let you know that we won't have 200 million next year. Although with the live editor, I can ensure that we have enough to cover whatever our figures are on the spreadsheet, because I can manually change it. Gillingham have come in for a loan to buy. Annoyingly, that very rarely do they anyone come in with just a loan these days, because it's like, oh, loan to buy is an option, let's use that one. No, how about just a loan? So that would actually be good for him, and I reckon he could grow quite well. 79 potential, of course, for Nathan Brown, so that would be a really good loan for him in League 2 next year if we can get that through. As I complain about that previous thing, loan to buy, then I actually get a 2-year loan deal for Marcus Coates from Port Vale, which would also be a good loan deal for him. At 14 years of age, obviously, we'll play him. Whether the AI play him or not, I don't know. Loan to buy for Hodges as well at Mansfield. We'll delegate just the loan, please. But again, that would be good for him. Getting some nice loan deals for those youngsters already. Louis Appere on the score sheet in a victory for Cambridgeshire. Nobody scored. All right, a point then. Bristol Rovers. Just glanced up, not quickly enough. They won. We've drawn. We are not top of the table anymore. Now a loan bid from Drogheda for Shepherd as well, which I will accept. The Irish League is absolutely fine for a young player to go out on loan and do some work. Long-term offers for Brown is confirmed. He will go to Gillingham next year, and a loan for Banks to go to Notts County as well. Well, it shows how much potential there is with these youngsters, that almost all of them have gotten a deal sorted within the first 3 weeks of them being involved in the first team squad. So I think we've got some potential for some really good players there. I'm sorry, Morrow. It's just not the one, unfortunately, for you. Away from home against Walsall actually isn't that straightforward a fixture, but I think I need to update my finances from the last game before we can do the next one. Matchday then, away from home against Walsall. Busy fixture list. So we'll actually give some fringe players some football here. I wonder if Hodges could play out there. Actually going to give the start to Ben Knight. And Don Ball can come out of there for Corey Smith. Not so sure about this. Of course. Eastwood is a little bit poorly, so out for this one. Clean sheet kept by his replacement though, and 3 points on the board for us again. Lovely stuff. Right then, next up is that played game against Salford, and Morrow actually inadvertently did manage to get a game in that one, so he's a lucky boy. Right, first versus ninth, now that we're first again, on the way. Going to be confirmation of multiple, I think, youngsters going out on loan. Nathan Brown will go to Gillingham for 12 months at the end of this season for next year, as will Marcus Coates go to Port Vale for 2 years, but he's 14, so plenty of work for him to be done in his young career. Jacob Banks going to Notts County for 12 months. And then is there any more? That is it for now. But now is match day, so let's win a game that we play today, shall we, after losing the other two. 4-2-3-1 for Salford with a very forward one over the 4-2-3-1 with Ben Woodburn right behind Fabio Barini, scored his first goal for Salford City in real life recently. Playing against us for the first time here. I don't think he played in the first match day against Salford, or I might actually have seen the first match day against Salford. I think I did actually. I think Barini scored in it, didn't he? I'm having flashbacks. Regardless, yikes. Former Liverpool Ben Woodburn, former Liverpool Fabio Barini, both in the starting lineup for Salford City here. They're 9th in the table and chasing a playoff spot. We've got title aspirations, thank you very much. Owen Garner getting a game here, the youngster. Just signed his first professional contract and now getting his first professional game. The only change... No, that's a lie, actually. George Hoddle is in as well for... completely forgotten his bloody name. Dom Ball. Sorry, Dom. Corner for Salford. 9th minute. Delivery's shit. Benno's up. Mams is up. Owen Garner is away. He's got some pace in those little legs. Maybe not some stamina to go with it, so probably can't run quite fast, run very fast for very long. How's your delivery? Not bad. Appare's up with a header, but the chance has gone wide. And Hoddle in the middle. Hoddle could have, balls. Arguably should have had a goal today if I'd have actually shot rather than tried to square it for an easier goal against MK Dons. And we could have done with a bloody point as well, because it would have put us, oh dear, comfortably, well not comfortably, but clear at least of Bristol Rovers. It was goal difference that actually saw us below them when we were level on points, and now I actually think we're above them on goal difference at this particular stage of the season. Brophy looking to get in behind and fully in behind, and then standing up looking for Appare for another header, which he's won, and this one was on target, but it's still definitely not going in. Inside, outside. Garner does have inventive as a play style as well as the long throw. Oh, I thought for a minute I might have been able to get him in for an assist, or maybe the assist of the assist. Oh, I was hoping for a back heel. Oy, I was hoping for a better shot. Yikes. Still 0-0. Nicely played outside to Udo and back into Barini. Two men with him. Woodburn tackled. Trying to get that away with Brophy. Under control. Yeah. Under control is a loose turn with George Hoddle there apparently. Did then win it back and I've lost it again. Under control with George Hoddle. And Brophy looking for Appare, not finding him. Nicely intercepted and Salford come again. I would hate to lose all three of the played games today. But Udo's ripped me apart there. Thankfully Pelly Ruddock's back and dealing with it. I might lose all three played games today. 43rd minute here. Woodburn looking to get away from me. And we will see it through to half-time at 0-0 now. Finally. Here's Engels. Bristol Rovers equalising against Gillingham at Priestfield. They've not had things all their own way today, Bristol Rovers, but evidently, obviously, nor have we, and nor have MK Dons, because they, at times, have obviously played well, because they've beaten us, but they've not necessarily closed the gap at all on ourselves or Bristol Rovers. And it could get young Garner in here. Just got the ball caught underneath his feet for a moment and wasn't able to race away. Mams gets that first. I think Garner did get to that one, but it's fallen free and loose for a Salford man. This is an iffy game with not really any clear opportunities to score a goal for either side. He says, as Fabio Barini's in, and Fabio Barini's it. Hoddle nicely out to Garner. He's looked promising as Garner. It's not been amazing. I missed the box crash, was offside there, I think. Not been anything special, but he's not looked out of place at all. And as much as we're saying, oh, we might need a Soleil Kaikai potential stand-in next year, and he is currently on the loan list to go elsewhere, is young Owen Garner. Tell you what, he might be alright for League One level. He's certainly capable on one game's evidence at League Two level. Step up is obviously a different kettle of fish. And he has only played one game, but he looks like he could be usable from the off. It's just a case of whether we decide to actually use him from the off. But now that we're... Oh, they've played that back very well. That's annoying, isn't it? Now that we're going to use the Youth Academy more readily in these saves, I think we'll be utilising loan moves more so than permanent transfers and free transfers for the foreseeable future in the lower leagues, which is the more realistic way to go about doing things. And then letting those youth players themselves go out on loan, grow, and then come back and make an impact in the side will also help us save some money to potentially get stadium upgrades, to potentially help us earn some more money. So actually, utilising the Youth Academy not just for player sales to raise the money, but avoiding player purchases in such a similar manner as well. It might actually really work out in our favour. McConnell wasn't ideally who I was looking for there, but Liam Bennett is on one here. And Liam Bennett, imagine if that had flown into the top corner. It looks like we are actually going to lose all 3 played games today, which obviously wasn't the ambition when we first started, and we've had to get all of our points from the simmed games today, which wasn't the way I hoped to go about trying to win the title. But obviously the league title looks like it will go down to certainly will go down to the season finale episode tomorrow. So plenty to watch for tomorrow to see whether we do finish first or second. Prize money at stake, obviously, and prize too, of course. That's a terrible ball by Glenn McConnell, unfortunately. I've just noticed the time. There's no point making changes now, is there? So, season finale tomorrow. I think it's pretty nailed on. We're going to get automatic promotion, but obviously we'd like the title. So tomorrow, quite simply, will be title or no title finale. This game's over. Final whistle coming now. There you go. Intriguingly, we've actually had a bid now from MK Dons for a 2-year loan for Owen Garner. I'm happy to let him go, but maybe only for just the 1 year. Maybe just for 1 year. And then he should hopefully be in a position to come back and do the business for us. This is confirmation of Ellis Shepherd going to Drogheda. Again, apologies about pronunciation of Drogheda. And we have one final simmer at the end of the month against Barnet. And this is another youngster, Brandon Hodges, going on loan to Mansfield. It's all gone very well so far in terms of getting those players out. Job opportunity at Club Atletico Sarmiento and AD Cueta. Not for me, thank you. They've accepted the 1-year negotiation. MK Dons for a year then for Owen. And of course, we'll be able to track his progress with the simulated leagues, which is fantastic. Right. Sim against Barnet then is the last game of the month, isn't it? As things stand, we're 3 points off top. How many games are left? 7, I think, at this stage. Yes. Meaning 21 points available. Meaning Bristol Rovers have guaranteed a playoff spot. Meaning we have not yet guaranteed a playoff spot, but goal difference is 27 goals in our favour. So let's say we've guaranteed a playoff spot. Playoffs assured. Automatic promotion very nearly there. And rather evidently, the title still hanging in the balance. We need victory here against Barnet. We've gotten it by a 1-0 through Soleil Kaike on the right-hand side. Bristol Rovers also winning against Accrington, though. So it is going to go rather considerably into the season finale, where we have playoff chasing Swindon next. But that is playoffs absolutely definitively assured for us next year. Automatic promotion is 15 points. We're 2 games away, basically. Maybe 1 game away if we beat Swindon and County drop points. So it's very, very close indeed to us being assured of League One football next season. But that's all for today's episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed this bumper one. Plenty of action in there on the pitch, although not all of it involving me doing that well. We started well against MK Dons. We didn't finish well against MK Dons. But that's all for this one. Join me for the season finale tomorrow, where it will be Le Title or Le No Title. Hopefully title. I'll see you then.